So we finally got a bunch of details on the PlayStation 5. It finally dropped. Well, they dropped all of the specs and everything, and it was boring. I don't know. Am I the only one that was bored by what they did? I just was like, what is this? This is like a snoozer. You can say what you want about Xbox and Microsoft. There's a lot to criticize there. And to be fair, there's a lot to criticize with Sony. But one thing I got to tell you about Xbox is they know how to hype and they know how to just kind of get you. I think they've been doing a great job with the Xbox Series X. I think the name's dumb, but I think that the way they've been putting stuff out and their messaging has been really good. I like what they've been doing. I like how, like, the biggest message that they've had was, okay, for a whole year, you know, everything that's on Xbox Series X is going to be available on Xbox One. So, you know, you'll of course get better graphics and a better experience on Xbox Series X. But if you just bought an Xbox One, like you got one for Christmas, don't worry, you're going to get at least 2 years out of it. And I think that that's pretty cool. You're not leaving anybody behind. I think that they've been doing a good job. They definitely dropped the ball when they came out of the gate with Xbox One and that weird TV messaging. But for the most part, I think they've been doing a really good job for the past couple of years. At least since Phil Spencer came in and kind of made some changes. But Sony has just really been doing weird things. A lot of censorship on PlayStation. They've been doing this, like, you know, there's just weird things. Like, you can get a more uncensored version of a game on Nintendo Switch, which is really strange. And of course, you know, I think a lot of that has to do because they moved their offices completely to California. So you can already imagine the one way of thinking that that place has. Because you move out there, the tech area, say what you want, but everybody over there is pretty woke. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're just taking over Sony slowly. You know, I don't know. It's just speculation. But Sony just doesn't say, you know, maybe it's because they're the top dog right now. And every time you have somebody that's the top dog, they get really arrogant. And I think that they'll probably stumble a little bit. And that snoozer reveal didn't help change my mind on that. I'll tell you that. I was not impressed. This should have been a big event. And it felt forced. Like, we have to respond because PlayStation or Xbox had a reveal the other day. It was amazing. And it seems like I'm not the only one. I see a lot of people complaining, saying that the reveal was incredibly boring. And it would seem that Screen Rant agrees with me. And I find that pretty funny. So I don't know what Sony's doing. I think the PS5 has potential. It's going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of cool stuff about these new consoles that are coming out. But, you know, I still would rather be on a PC. But I do plan on getting at least one of them. And after watching that reveal, man, I don't know if I'm going to pick up the PlayStation. I think Xbox has some big plans. I do like that both systems are backwards compatible. I think that that's nice. You know, I have a decent amount of games for both of them. So it's nice to know that I'll be able to play them and get better performance out of them. Man, you need to step your game up just a little bit more, PlayStation. Just a tad more. So anyway, let's go through this little article. It's not very long. So the PlayStation 5 reveal finally happened today, and despite being one of the most exciting events in recent memory for consumers looking to see what the next generation of consoles looks like, it was incredibly boring. Fans were prepped for the PS5 reveal through Sony's social media channels earlier this week, and with advance notice, a fair amount of hype was generated for the presentation as fans anticipated something that rivaled Microsoft's exciting Xbox Series X deep dive. And I don't know how you feel about Xbox, but I got to tell you, I definitely am kind of excited for the Xbox Series X. I hate the name, but I like everything that they're doing with it. Will this translate to, you know, that console being better? I have to, for the record, you know, I don't know how people feel about consoles. I recently, over the past, you know, like 2 or 3 years, I've become a PC gamer. But I do find a lot of fun in the launch of new consoles. I think it's fun to watch. I think it's interesting watching them take shots at each other and the back and forth. It's a lot of hype, you know, and it's fun. It's fun to watch the rivalry. And this was a clear loss for PlayStation. Unfortunately, the PlayStation 5 reveal was actually more of a flop than the number of teraflops the console will be packing, over 10 for those who are interested. Lead system architect Mark Kearney broke down things like custom decompressors, SSD load times, and other technological specs via a slideshow that was delivered to an audience of CGI-rendered attendees, which is a fair point. That was really weird, by the way, and just the whole dry presentation was a flop to me. You know, there's a reason that Reggie was so liked over at Nintendo, and this is why, like, a lot of people like Phil Spencer at Xbox. It's because they bring a lot of energy and a lot of fun to the reveals of stuff and their announcements. This was boring, and I don't think Sony quite gets that, and this goes with, like, ambition. It's like Sony's on the top right now, right? They don't really see the need. It's like, I feel like they felt like they could just go out there, say and do whatever they want, and the hype would bring itself. It's like, you need to hype. You need to actually work. You need to work a little bit for my dollars. If you want some of my money, you need to give me something a little bit more to be excited about. Most people don't even know what all this stuff means. I don't even know what a lot of this stuff means. I don't know. When you're like throwing all these numbers and stuff, I'm not a big tech dude. You know, it's not something that I'm like really hip on. But if you know, explain a little bit better and have some energy on it, like, you could put anything out there and get people hyped for it. You need to get people hyped, and they just didn't do a very good job with it. So the PlayStation 5 reveal was something that was supposed to generate a lot of hype for the upcoming console, but when juxtaposed immediately after what Microsoft did with the Xbox Series X, it's actually something somewhat disheartening for fans who wanted something, anything other than a very dry run of what the console looks like. The PS5 is also weaker in terms of power to the Xbox Series X, so the fact that Sony didn't redeem that with a flashy presentation is disappointing. It's worth noting, however, that Sony did warn fans that this might be the case, suggesting that the presentation was meant for GDC 2020, a conference for developers where this technological speak would have been more well received. Yeah, I mean, they were in a bad position. I'll give them that. So there's a little bit of leeway here, but I think it would have been better off to do nothing. But at the end of the day, the one accomplishment this will have is people are talking about it. You know, you have me talking about it. You have other people like Yang Ye and stuff will be making videos on it, and I'm sure maybe they'll have some excitement for it and whatever. So, you know, it'll at least get the word out there, and it counters all of the speak on the Xbox's stuff. But at the end of the day, like, sell your product a little bit better. I don't know. Really weak reveal, boring. The chat, I like what they point out, was full of Z messages. I think that's funny. I wish I had screenshots of that. That'd be pretty funny to show along with the video, but it is what it is. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Are you excited for the PlayStation 5? I don't know how I feel about it. I'm still deciding which one I'm going to get because it's really a supplemental thing. I like having them for, you know, Blu-ray players, and I like having the latest one. So I don't know which one that I'm going to get yet. I'm only buying one this generation. I usually buy both, you know, the two big ones, but there's not really a big need for it anymore because just about every game is on every console. So it doesn't really matter. Just buy the one that you like. I haven't decided what I'm going to get yet, but what are your thoughts on it? I'd like to hear which one are you excited about? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you'd share this video, I'd really appreciate it. Throw a like up. That would be cool. Make sure you still subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment, make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.